You know, as for example, when we get ourselves into research, when we ask
Yes.
questions from people, at times you may get answers or feedback to impress you. So maybe at the end of the day, when you are getting feedback, we may give answers to impress. But when it comes to physical education, you are able to see the feedback, you are able to gauge, you are able to look at the physical appearance of the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josephine. Rhoda Ocheng, you had raised your hand.
Yes, doctor. Good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
On my side, the difference between physical education and the distance learning is on location, whereby the physical learning has to take place in a classroom setting, while the distance learning, you can do the class anywhere it finds you, whether in office, at home, or any other place. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Othello. Othello.
Yes, Malimu, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I've not heard your voice.
Kweli.
You've been very quiet in my classes. Today I've
Oh,
caught you.
oh, I speak, but anyway, okay. Now, this, maybe you had not called me.
Yeah,
Okay,
now I've called you. I think. Yeah.
okay. I will agree with our two previous speakers, especially the aspect of discipline is very important. It makes a lot of difference in this physical and virtual. I remember when COVID came, we suddenly went to virtual uh, teaching straight, and it was kind of enforced because of the situation. So I will say that the class that we are doing, we are more mature people, and we are eager to do the class. We have the desire, so we can come to class. It is upon yourself now. Mostly you have control over it, but physical, you have to be present there face to face. You have to appear. So I will just put this into two categories: people who are mature and people who are less mature, like the youth that we are teaching. Those people, uh, virtual learning is a very, very tough task, very difficult. Some people they will be in a class, then they are lying on the bed. They are not actually participating well. They are just maybe lying down on the bed. They just put their picture there. They are not. They will be doing something else while the class is going on. It requires a lot of discipline, and that is a big difference. If you are not disciplined, you are not going to participate, and you miss on a lot of things. Especially the young people dealing with them. You have to do a lot of things to keep them focused in the class, and maybe giving them exercises and things like that to really
Thank you.
hook them to the class. That's how I look at
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have to be disciplined. If you are not disciplined, then you may not benefit from the distance learning programs. And for sure, the young people who are not disciplined get distracted easily. Unlike the adult learners who are more focused and they know exactly what they want. Let me have some responses from Manyara, Jimmy, and finally Cindy, and then we move on. Manyara?
Evening.
Yes, good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good
Yes,
evening, Manyara.
Yes, good evening.
my take on the major difference between distance and the physical education or learning is that in the physical education program, the teacher and the students are able to emotionally connect because you are reading their expressions, their gestures, and you end up knowing the learner or even the teacher better. And also you find that in the physical programs, as Othello has said, it is easy for a learner to follow. The distance one is good because even people from disadvantaged background or they are far from classes can be able to follow. But you find that the discipline, it requires a lot of discipline. Even amongst ourselves, sometimes when we are learning this program, you find that it is very easy for us to get distracted and to start chatting amongst ourselves, which is very human because that's the way it is. Because sometimes we tend to see only ourselves. Like right now, I'm just in a room all by myself. So sometimes I tend to forget that I'm supposed to be in class, and my mind can take a certain direction. But I want to go to the beginning where we say when the question you had asked earlier, why it picked post-corona, and I think education took it from what was happening in the virtual workplaces when people realize it's not just a must that I have to be in office to work. I can work even from home, from a remote area, and my contribution can make a difference. And this really helped education because now it took it to another level altogether, whereby now you're ending up getting a diploma, degree purely from virtual learning. And also you find that it is not restricted. I don't have just to be in Kenya. There is the Open University of South Africa. There is the Open University of Tanzania. If you get admitted there, you can learn, and you are in Kenya, but you're studying from outside there. And I think that's one of the beauty of distance program. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Finally, let's hear from Cindy. Then we move on. Cindy, are you there?
Mentioned first.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Okay, my point, the person who had just spoken and touched on what I wanted to say about the emotional connection and the nonverbal communication. You know, when it comes to teaching and learning, when we are learning face-to-face, you are able to connect with the students, you are able to learn their nonverbal skills, their facial expressions, and that one can tell you a lot when it comes to teaching and learning. Sometimes you, like for example, during COVID, when we switched to online teaching, some of my students used to log in and go back to sleep. So you're asking someone a question, they are nowhere to be found. They logged in just to be marked present and just go away. They go to sleep here. So when you tell them to put on their videos, that is when you realize they're just waking up and they're like, wait, give me a minute. Yeah, so, but now, you know, there is also the aspect of convenience. Like when it comes to online teaching, it's convenient to so many people because you can learn anytime from anywhere. When it comes to physical learning, like, for example, students who are here, who are outside the country, may not have joined this program simply because they couldn't manage to physically attend the classes. But now with the online learning everywhere, it's convenient for everyone and they can learn from anywhere. Yeah, so that aspect of the emotional connection as a teacher, I find it very important, where you can read the facial expressions of the students as they respond to different aspects in the classroom. And also the point of interaction. When it comes to the classroom, there is a lot of interaction and teaching and learning that happen within the physical classroom, which may not be possible when it comes to online. Yeah, the issue of network, like right now we are on Zoom, you realize that if you are experiencing blackout, it becomes difficult for you to join class. You have a problem with the Wi-Fi and just network in general, it becomes an issue. But when it comes to the online, to the physical classroom, based on that aspect, it's easier to navigate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, let's now look at the areas where we can.
Daktari,
Yes. Wekesa.
just allow me a quarter of a second to comment
All
on
right.
what my colleagues have said about discipline.
Okay.
In the military, we say there are two types of discipline. One, self-discipline, and two, induced discipline. Now, I wanted to make a summary on discipline by saying the differences between distance learning and physical learning is that in distance learning, it requires self-discipline, while in physical learning, it requires induced discipline. How? What is induced discipline? You will be forced to sit down, listen, concentrate, and do what is required at that time. But now when it comes to distance learning, unless you have your own self-discipline that drives you to say, it is 5:30, I need to log in, I have been given this assignment, I need to do it, you will never succeed. And therefore, the two have to, you have to have self-discipline for you to get the distance learning. And in physical learning, it is induced because you'll be required to sit down, listen to the lecturer. Like right now, I may decide not to listen to you, log in and go. And so that means I don't have self-discipline. Thank you, Daktari.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Obadia, I think there's
Dr.
something
Sitati.
burning.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Dr. Sitati.
Yes.
If you will allow me, I know I still have a pending question. Maybe I'll ask it at the end. I just wanted to react to Wekesa.
Yes.
And I find that there is really a very thin line when we are trying to differentiate distance learning versus physical learning in terms of some attributes. I think, even as he explained self-disciplined and induced discipline, I see it applying in both ways, whether physical and or distance learning. And this also was the basis of the initial question I wanted to ask, that we cannot limit technology or the utilization of technology to only distance learning. Even physical learning does utilize technology and all this kind of stuff. So I think there will be a very, very thin line in terms of actually finding really concrete, distinct differences on some elements when talking about distance versus physical learning. On the matter of discipline, I think it applies to both. And I may be wrong. Thanks, and over.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Obadia, yeah, for that critique. And that
Mimi ni Madiang, usipe hizo points, Obadia.
Mwalimu.
I've seen Tasli. She wants to say something, Mwalimu.
Mwalimu.
Who is that?
Hello. This
Yes.
is Obadia now speaking. Thank you, Madiang. I'm not taking credit of whatever you have mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I think we move on.
Mwalimu, just a question. I have a burning issue. And if
Yes.
you would help me clarify this, what's the difference between the distance learning and online learning?
Distance learning, online learning. Over to the class, what's the difference between distance learning and online learning? I know we have people in the technology industry. They'll be able to demystify it very easily for us. Yes?
Add to it virtual learning also.
Yes, virtual learning. Yes. Anybody who can help us demystify it?
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
Mwalimu. I'm not a IT person, but having interacted with IT for a long time now, I can safely say that distance learning these terms are used interchangeably. And when you talk about distance learning, it means probably like what was it Madiang or Imanyara who was talking about that. For example, you are very far away, you are in another country. Maybe you are studying, you are in a university, but in South Africa, you are here in Kenya. Or you are here in Kenya and you are attending a university in UK online. So that is the distance learning I'll look at. But they are used interchangeably. You can be here in Nairobi and you are doing a class here in Daystar online. So you are not very far away. That is also distance, but not very far away. But mostly the distance learning, when people talk about distance learning, is in the terms of being some distance away from that university, but still online. So virtual is about, for example, it is like it's real time, but you are online. You are doing it in real time, but online. I think that is the virtual now.
Online?
I'm saying you are online, but you are doing like it's real time, like it's physical. Because here we can decide to look, all of us decide to put on our video and appear there. Yes.
All right. Brenda Akinyi. Brenda?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening, and I don't know where the others are, since now we are talking about distance learning. So according to me, I think, yeah, I think distance learning is a broader concept that encompasses different learning methods. One of them is online learning. So online learning is just a learning, a teaching and learning method under distance learning. So distance learning, under it, we have sub-branches or sub-methods of teaching, which are online or virtual. So there's no major difference because online learning is particularly under distance learning.
Thank you. Thank you. Paul Amata. Amata.
Sorry.
Yes.
I think what my colleague has just said is part of what I wanted to say, and I wanted to, I wanted to say that distance learning is the broader term used to refer to all those remote classes, and some of these remote classes I will include the one you are talking about, the distance, the online. We also have conference classes. Conference classes are real time, like what we are doing now, I think. And then online is also real time. We also have hybrid classes, which is a mixture of two, traditional and traditional physical classes plus the online one. And then some time back, we also had what we call correspondence classes, where materials were sent via email or something of the sort. So I feel like distance learning is just a broader term used to refer to all those because of the distance, whereby you don't meet the instructor physically. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Paul Amata. Finally, let's hear from, this is who? Jimmy.
Yes, Daktari.
Jimmy Sanya.
Yes, Daktari, thank you. I've actually been lifting up my hand, but it's like my hand appears to be shorter today. But all the same, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Okay, I think distance learning is can be understood in this way. It's on the basis of physical separation between the learner and the teacher. As simple as that. A teacher is in the US and the learner is in Africa. And therefore, because of that separation between the teacher and the learner, we can now input online learning, whereby now we use the internet. Without the internet, I want to believe that there is no online learning. So we incorporate online learning in distance learning so as to bridge the geographical distance between the learner and the teacher. As simple as that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jimmy Sanya. I did not ignore your hand. Juliana Magomere.
Yes, thank you, Daktari.
Also check the comment section.
Yes.
Hello.
Check the comments.
Okay.
Mwalimu, I just want to ask a simple question to my colleagues. Anybody here who has done course by correspondence when there was no internet?
Yeah, maybe you can answer it. You know the answer.
Okay, so you had picked me, Daktari. So my comments would be the difference between distance learning, all those virtual and online. Maybe it's because of the evolution, the evolving language. So the language used, but it's one and the same thing. And also maybe if we include the technology that is being used, because initially it was not as developed. So as it continues developing, then the name changes, but it's one and the same thing. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Obadia. Obadia, are you there?
Yes, Mwalimu.
Can you then?
I think I've built a lot of understanding from my colleagues.
Yes.
They like this opinion that was saying like the one like the analogy for like you have a teacher is in the US and you are in Kenya, and in the end, my colleague said that distance learning, the way I understood it, it can be called distance even without the internet. But now, when the internet comes in handy, whereby you can have like the way we are having this is an online class, it is embedded in the distance learning. But you know, like now, this is a real time conversation that we're having. It's not like the other one that my colleague has said that you are doing like distance learning as a correspondent learning, whereby maybe a material will be put in a lorry to Kakamega. You collect your material from your parcel from the bus stop. You read, and maybe later on submit as well. You know, in that same manner. I think there is a slight some difference, but all of them would fall under distance learning. But traditional distance learning does not use the internet, but online does. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a lot of reactions. Maybe we can also be reading our chat section to just get insights of the differences. Now let's move to evaluation of distance learning. Now, in terms of evaluating distance learning, and here when I talk about learning in our spaces, we've conducted some programs online in terms of training.
Daktari, please share your screen.
I've been disabled. I don't know who has been sent to disable me. Somebody has
coordinator around to help us.
Money has been poured.
Doctor.
The host has disabled.
Is Dr. Ayuya around to help us?
Mwalimu Mukuu, I think you're also a host. Please help me.
Hello.
Yes. Can you help me? Can you enable me share?
You are a co-host, Mwalimu, but you can put your co-host. I was trying to record live for your class so that we don't lose it, but you're now a co-host. You are now a host.
Okay. So I can. It's still indicating that I'm disabled.
It can be because you're the host.
Oh. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
You are the host, so the host can. You just
two gadgets.
We share again. We share again.
Share again.
Have
I
you?
think
Or
also Cindy can help.
Cindy? No, the instructions
Cindy is
will
the
not even allow.
co-host.
They won't even allow, because I think it doesn't allow even a co-host, but it's fine. Continue teaching. I will definitely, I'll enable sharing for all participants.
Okay. All right. So evaluation in distance learning is based on actually focuses on 4 areas. One, we want to evaluate the
Dr.
quality.
Sitati.
Yes.
Dr. Sitati, could it be because of your long team using 2 devices and one you're not a co-host or hosting the other one?
No, the one I'm
Yeah, that's the
using should be
problem.
able to share.
Yeah. It's because the one what you now that let me relinquish back my host, because I think the one we have made you a host is the one you are using and you're not using, and the other one is what you're using. So, allow me to reclaim host so that I can sort out now. That's fine. Continue, please.
All right. So let me continue as she sorts us out so that we save on time. So we want to focus on 4 main areas of evaluation of distance programs. And the first area is on the quantity of the learning. The quantity, when we talk about quantities, we are talking about numbers. And therefore, we want to evaluate the number of students who are able to enroll for that program. We also want to evaluate how many of these students will complete. We want to evaluate then the attendance. Some of us will come in and go out, but at the end of the program, how many will have attended that program? So that will give us the quantity of the learning, so that we are saying this program attracted 80% of the total learners who had enrolled into the program. The attendance was 80%. We also want to evaluate the new learners markets that we want to look at the diverse disciplines.
Feel free to share.
Yeah. So we want to look at the diverse disciplines from of our learners. Where are they situated? Where are they? Where do they come from? What is their demography? So that then, based on that, we are able to attend to their individual differences. Like now we are talking about evaluation in education. Some of them will complain that we are concentrating so much on education. So when we know the demography of these learners, then we are able to address the needs of all our learners. So in terms of enrollment, we want to see how many have enrolled in this program, how many are able to attend, what is the completion rate. And you remember when I started, I said it's our wish, our prayer that all of us complete and graduate as a cohort. Then the second main area of focus is the quality of the learning. And in terms of quality, we want to look at the effectiveness of the course. Are we able to achieve our set objective? At the end of this course, are we able to achieve our set objective? Then we also want to look at the status of the learners in terms of, are they able to transfer the knowledge that they're acquiring to their workplace? Can they be now different people in their workplace? Can they look at different concepts with a different eye? Are they just the same people that enrolled for the program? What could be the difference that they can make within their work spaces? Are they able to add some value? Is somebody able to note that this kind of program has really added a lot of value to you and you're able to transfer it to the rest of the people within your workspace? Then we also want to evaluate the relative cost of learning. So this will include institutional cost effectiveness and the benefit. So cost benefit analysis, we want to analyze how much are we spending on this program? How much are we spending on this program? What would be the benefits of the program? That we are spending so much, but we are benefiting very little from the program. Or we are spending this much, but we're also benefiting so much from this program. So in those 4 areas, we want to do our evaluation and give our results. And here we'll have to develop different tools that will help us to evaluate online programs. Now for our program now, I think we have an inbuilt tool that we are able to evaluate our attendance. So when you miss a class, it will just indicate that so-and-so missed a class on this date. And so in terms of attendance, you miss on that. In terms of enrollment, we already know how many students we have enrolled. Then when we come to completion, we'll see how many of us are completing the course and graduating. So we'll be able to evaluate that 80% of the students who enrolled for this program in September were able to complete this program within 18 months. Then we'll be able to ask ourselves, why couldn't we have 100% completion rate? So we look at the challenges that we face in terms of implementing this program, and that will also help us make decisions. Maybe the cost was too high, so we make decisions. Do we subsidize? Maybe we were too fast for them and they did not have enough time to attend the classes. Maybe the quality of the course was not up to date and many of them dropped on the way. So those are some of the areas that we'll need to evaluate and give us, indicators for improvement and help us make very pertinent decisions. Now, what are the problems that affect
Excuse me, Daktari, as
yes.
you move, just a quick question. Kindly go back to the previous slide. Yeah, I wanted to find out in terms of like the 4th point on the cost of the learning.
Yes.
Does it incorporate, probably, do you also look at the cost for the students, or it's only from the institutional perspective? Because I think that's a major contributor to the enrollment in terms of the numbers.
Yes, in fact, for the cost, we are looking at the cost of the system, we are looking at the cost of the program, we are looking at the cost of implementing that program, we are looking at the cost incurred by students. So we want to see, is it effective? On your side, you'll be able to establish whether it is worth your investment. If you get a promotion and your pay rise is, you have a higher pay rise, then it means your costs, you have gained from the program. And so you can say that the program was cost effective. But if you pay so much for that program, and then at the end of it, you don't benefit from it, then on your side, it will not be a very good, good show on your side. But for us, like an institution, we want to see how much did the system cost us? How much has that program now, in terms of developing the program, training the faculty, implementing that program, because at the end of the program, we'll need to pay the faculty. How much will it cost? So we'll be able to evaluate that. Is it really worthy? And that will be against maybe what we have, netted from the program. How much money have you paid? We've paid maybe 66,000 each for this program. So at the end of the year, we want to see, this is the much we have, collected from the program. This is the much we have spent on the program. Is it cost effective? Do we proceed or we just forget about it? So it is both sides.
Thank you.
Okay, then let's look at problems affecting distance education very fast. Then after that, I think I'll invite our guests. I think she should be in the house now to share her experiences as one of the important people in implementing distance learning platforms. So what are some of the challenges faced in distance learning? Back to you, class.
Is it for implementation, Amma?
Sorry? What are the problems affecting implementation of distance or online learning?
Can I say something?
Implementation.
Can I say
Brenda?
something?
Jane, yes, Jane?
Yeah, so this is Brenda.
Yes, Brenda.
I would say maybe technical challenges, for example, in STEM learning, whereby you need hands-on experience and you need advanced technology to be able to implement some areas like the engineering areas, the science or technology areas. So technical challenges would be one area that could affect full implementation of distance learning in STEM learning, for instance.
Thank you so much. Let's have Manyara, MC. Manyara? Caroline? Caroline N.
Yes, madam. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, Caroline, what are the challenges faced by distance learning implementation?
On the part of the learners, I think the lack of commitment to it would lead to not achieving the objectives that are set.
Thank you. Ruth? Ingosi, Ruth?
Thank you, Doc. I think I would say teacher challenges on the teacher side. Issues like maybe preparing the learning resources, maybe poor internet connectivity. Yes.
Thank you, Florence. Macho?
Thanks, Doc. I think the other thing that we probably sometimes overlook, especially for us who are adult learners, but still learning while still at work, is that sometimes you have to balance between your employer's time and being in class. So for example, I'm now still in the office, finalizing on an event that we have tomorrow, but still having to be present in class. So just the balancing of the time that you have as a student, as well as logging in and just being completely present to the session. I think the other one I can speak out about is that showed itself very clearly on Saturday when we had an exam. And while I knew I could log in, it needed us to log in with your video. And so I ended up, I was in a planning meeting somewhere. Had everybody left me there in that place, and I had to sit down because the planning meeting ended at 5. So it's either I run in traffic and try and get home before, or I log in immediately. Again, just juggling that as well, and then being able to get a proper internet as a student, being able to submit your assignments on time with a portal that you're not familiar with, and so sometimes you're locked out. Yeah. So those kind of things, technological, but as well as balancing of time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Meshak Sindani? Meshak?
Oh, yes. In my view, I think one of the challenges is in assessment, because there could be integrity issues, because online assessment, sometimes the student can have access to external resources during a test.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Lastly, let's hear from Stella Sanya. Stella.
Similar to what I think Meshak said, like authenticating that the person who registered for the course is the one who actually attends class and does the assignments.
Thank you. Now,
Mwalimu,
yes.
I have a small contribution.
Yes.
It's I've been writing something about this and one of the things that I think I'm highlighting in my report is lack of clear policies that govern online learning in this way. I think all of us here, we just know and understand that the program that we're doing is online. But maybe from the institution, we maybe not get some rules and regulations that should be applied. Just understand the way I'm speaking. The rules and regulations that have to be applied while we are in a e-learning environment. And the lack of clear policy has led us to not having control over whatever we're doing online. Because as far as I'm concerned, and according to my reflection, and I can be wrong, there might be some policies that govern when should something be accessed. When are you accessing material? Which kind of materials are you accessing? Because when now it's learning and you have to have access of everything that just pops up, sometimes you might get confused. But we have specific policies that terms like the quantity also and the quality of materials that students must have access to. Do we have also how do we keep the learner motivated? Because we've left everything to the learner, and we've told the learner that you should motivate yourself. But now, from our end, like now I'm talking from now the administrative perspective, from the institutional perspective, how are we ensuring that every and each moment that we spend in class, the learner is motivated, even if there is that distance complexity? So I think that there is still need for those who are in the IT field to sit down, and also the school administrator and other stakeholders to come up with strong policies that would govern all these loopholes, so that when it's about the online learning, the difference would just be the physical environment, but the policies and how we motivate students are still the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we proceed before I invite my guests. I just want to,
Dr. Can I make just a comment?
Half a minute.
Yes, I wanted to say that one of the major challenges is lack of being technologically very savvy. Like when I raised my hand, just to unmute was a problem. And also I was looking at accessing library materials proving to be very difficult, not just to me, but you'll find to quite a number, so that the technology bit is a major hindrance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we are talking about technological challenges. We are talking about challenges in terms of curriculum. Yeah, sometimes we have to keep on reviewing the curriculum so that we are able to address the needs of the program. Yeah, there are times when we have untrained or unqualified staff in terms of, working on the system and on the program. There are times when we have to depend on, instructors from outside the institution. That is part-time instructors. And you know how these part-time sometimes can disappoint. Sometimes they're not available and they're not accountable because, you hire them on need basis. And then we also have inadequate lack of defined program mission. I indicated that any online program must have a clear vision, a good mission, and good strategies that will help it achieve the vision of the program. So at that point, I want us to listen to our guest today. And our guest is not somebody who is very new, but she's very, very instrumental in terms of ODEL, open and distance education learning. This is somebody who initiated the program in Daystar during the COVID-19, and she facilitated the accreditation of the first online school in Daystar. She has so much to share with us, but I want just to give her some 20 minutes to give us some insights of our Daystar online program, what challenges she has gone through in terms of system and in terms of the programs that are offered on the online platform, and how she's been able to mitigate those challenges. So I want to invite Dr. Caroline Mwaka. All of us know Caroline Mwaka. You know how much she's really worked on this program, moving up and down from one office to the other to ensure you get your admission letters, to ensure you get all that you need for this program. She has made it successful. She has put in her all to ensure that we are just where we are. Caroline, kindly share your experiences as our online ambassador.
Right. Thanks a lot. As I sit in this office, I definitely have a lot going through my mind. I have so many things happening around me, but I have to choose to listen again to the
I tell you, you're quiet, you're gone quiet.
Challenges of online learning.
Yeah, let's just give her time.
I'm trying to, I have two gadgets as well. I'm using that and I'm using this for live recording. Yeah. So I hope, yeah, it's still, thank God it's recording. So good people, it has been definitely a walk through the beginning of a program. And this program is not just any program, because I'm hoping that all of us at one point of time, you will set a program. And it has been not a walk in the path, but it is manageable. That's one thing I've learned about things. That things are manageable. You really don't have to worry about how to start. To just start. When you start things, they just fall in place. And that's one thing I have learned about starting, that when you start, things fall in place. When COVID came in, I wasn't a director. I was, what was I? I was, okay, let me remove share so that we can, Dr. Sitati, you want to remove this? You want to remove this, or you want me to use this as my point? So when I was being given the distance learning program, I mean, as I said, I was first of all a normal lecturer who's just teaching in class, engaging with students, and trying to see what can I do with my students. So one day, COVID comes in, and we go online, and I used everything humanly possible to make my class easy, because nobody taught us on how to go to online. We just told go. So while I was teaching my master's students, they compared me against many people who were teaching them. So secretly, they wrote a letter to the vice chancellor and let him know that we are in COVID, but there's one lecturer who is really giving their best to teach us in the best way. She's recording her courses. She's ensuring that all her PowerPoints are recorded. She's trying to ensure that they are all loaded on time. And when the lecturers don't know how to teach online, so is it possible that you allow her to speak? That was in March, end of April. Would you allow her so that she can be able to teach other lecturers on how to teach online? So when the VC got this secret note, he never told me for a secret note. But what he did is, during COVID now.
End of April in 2020?
Yeah, that was in 2020, yes. So he called deans during COVID and say, I would like you to come and listen to one of you who seem to be teaching, we learn from. So he called a special deans. Remember, I was just a lecturer, not even a senior lecturer. So now deans were called. And I was told, you're going to sit in a special deans meeting so that you present how you teach. So I came there, and with all my energy and everything, everybody was really excited. And everybody said, now We want you to come and train our teachers or lecturers in our classes. And that was, the students were the people who gave me the promotion. Immediately, I was appointed a deputy director auditor with nothing, with just myself and myself. So now I started going home to figure out, what am I expected? So reading on distance learning, open e-learning, and started thinking, what should I do? Looked at courses online, what can I do? Can I apply for a course to learn? Because I didn't want to embarrass myself. And embarrassing myself before the vice chancellor, embarrassing myself before the deputy vice chancellor was going to be literally embarrassing. So I opted to go and start doing. I didn't sleep for a whole week. I'm figuring out. Even as I went around schools to teach them on how to teach online, I wasn't the expert. I was simply reading and going to teach them and improving my presentation skills. By the end of the week, everybody was excited and people are motivated. And now as a director, the deputy director, what do? I'm alone in the office and I don't know what to do. So I came up with a plan of training my colleagues. So I started having a plan, but in between, in his wisdom, the vice chancellor felt she can't work alone. Let me find who also taught well during COVID, the first time we were ambushed to go online with nothing. They found that some lecturers did very well. So he called them champions. So he picked faculty from every school whom we called a champion of e-learning, and were put together as a committee to start beginning to work on e-learning. So slowly we started doing videos for students, for staff, teaching them. And my patience, it is COVID that literally taught me patience, but you people have taught me even more patience, because COVID taught me to be patient, because it was not easy to teach staff. There are staff who even literally resigned, took early retirement, about 2 of them, because they couldn't even handle a laptop. They couldn't teach and navigate on a laptop. So I had to become a colleague, encourager, see things in the positive way possible, and let the lecturers know that it is manageable. If I did it and I did not really know anything, it's manageable. Let's go. So I came up with a slogan. I am a call away, a text away. Just call, just text. And it went around Daystar. I'm a call away, a text away. Just call, just text. And I did approach it from that perspective. And all of us now became friendly with each other. There was nobody we were going to punish. There was nobody we were going to say, don't know. We are simply becoming friendly to make everybody admire technology, because nobody wanted technology. 90% of them didn't want technology. Both students, both staff. I wanted to make technology so interesting and loving and make it easy. Even when I know in the background it's not very easy, but I knew that I was there for that. Being a psychologist, I come from a psychological, I'm a mental health practitioner. I'm a child and adolescent mental health practitioner. And I love that. I do that. I go to courts for children assessment, psychological issues. I go for child custody in courts to present them for the cases after my assessment. So basically, when I go to court, it's from a mental perspective to give a report to the court about. Sometimes if you Google me, you'll find my reports probably been published on the whatever, legal something where they put all the cases, it matters in the court. So mine was more in mental health, but I didn't ever think technology and education was my area. So I forced myself to love it. And when the vice chancellor is entrusting you with a responsibility, it means he knows you have the capacity. And if you don't have it, he will really support you 100% to get it right. So he became the patron of the board. We were the first board in Daystar ever to be paid. We are paid an allowance as Daystar to make sure that e-learning is well. And then also for the whole year, we navigated very well. For the first time, since its inception, Daystar had the highest number of enrollment during COVID than any other time when there was no COVID. So we broke a record of high numbers of, why? Because word went around that Daystar was doing very well in e-learning. Believe you me not, we have how many universities have benchmarked with us? Over 32 universities in Kenya and East Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, have actually come to benchmark with us so that they can learn e-learning. And therefore, CUE began telling universities, go and ask them how are they doing it. Public universities were not learning because of the economic divide, where most students who are unable to buy laptops are in public university, most of them. So you can be sure most of them were not able to use. Public universities were getting it rough because their students can't even afford a laptop. And I can understand totally very well. And we could not compete in any way because the parity in having and not having was just huge between private and public universities. So with this board, we came up with policies, we came up with standards, and we took ourselves for assessment for CUE. And the story is long. We were accredited as among the first three, probably were the first one, but they keep saying among the first three, but we are sure we're the first because the two others, actually Baraton and Zatek, were our mentees. We took them through mentorship on how to run the e-learning program. We're the first three universities to be accredited as e-learning center. And I would say that it has never come easy. When you're beginning something in life, especially in an institution that entrusts you with terrains that are very difficult, never underestimate your energy levels. And you can see that distance learning is not easy. This is just an example of a program you're entrusted to begin. Never underestimate your competencies. Because I'm not a mentor, I'm not an IT education person. I'm a mental health practitioner. But I got myself in a new terrain and I had to love this terrain. What is it? Just be positive about what you do. Go for it and trust yourself. Trust everything you have. I believe that all of us have the capacity to do something. We cannot say we can't. And we were able to navigate through this. And then the promotion came as a director for e-learning. It took another 2 years for them to give me as a director, by the way. 2 good years. And in that process, Dr. Martin Munyao was as a champion, became the deputy director. And up to now, we have just decided we'll never punish our staff for not getting it right online. What we do is support, and do things that are supposed to do. Essentially, this recording is supposed to be done by the faculty members, but you can see we come in to support until when they will be able to have the confidence, the energy, and the joy to do it. We will give it handover, but we have to come in to support because that is it, and that is what we stand for. We just a call or a text away, and most of you have experienced us in terms of how we communicate, how we support you, and how we do it. So all our master's program and PhDs are literally virtually, as you're doing right now. We had an option of giving you not to be in class, but we realized you've just come in. What is it we can do for you? In our own thinking with the Vice Chancellor as a lecturer teaching you right now, and Dr. Sitati, we opted to say, let's start with virtual, just to have everybody know each other, learn each other. We will eventually get where we are, because this program, we are destined that by end of July, by end of August, you will be done by coursework, you will be done by your proposal defenses in between, you'll be collecting data and freely being free. By December, you'll be free spirits to join the PhD program that is coming. And that's what we are trying to do. We want to showcase this program as a program that if you mean to say something and you set a program, don't lie to the public. Be truthful to your word, because this is the same students who will give us 2-3 people to come and join our August cohort, the second cohort. So we want to be very realistic. We want to be very factual. You can imagine our aggressiveness. We had to go and even bargain for your school fees. So now you have only 4 semesters. We were telling you 5, but we have only 4. You can now calculate even your fees from now. How much are you going to pay? You only have 66,240 to pay in the next 3 semesters. You are done. And people are coming from this and over. That's the cheapest. Just being below 300 is not the easiest fees in the Easter. We are even now less than probably some of the public universities. So you must hold on something when you are given. Give it with hold it. Listen, Prof. Ayura has taught me this. When you give, the more you give, the more you get. It doesn't matter whether it's a group work in class. It doesn't matter whether it is an assignment. Give. When you give, you get. The more you give, the more you get. We don't be having excuses of time. Just keep giving, keep giving, keep giving. There is a way God is going to reward you in a enormous way that you will not ever understand how things just occur. He has mentored us, and some of us have really been under his feet to learn how to give. There's no VC in all of this country who teaches. Tell me one Vice Chancellor in the whole of this nation who teaches. Tell me one Vice Chancellor in the whole country who graduates both masters and PhD students. Now he's already preparing to supervise you. When you are under the feet of a professor like Professor Ayuro, life becomes so easy and best things come your way. That's how we do it. And I have learned that. So give and give time, give gifts, give your group work, be available. We ask you to come in class. It's very tedious. But I want to assure you, we are determined to ensure that we will make a model in Kenya where everybody will say, it is possible to graduate within a year. From January to December, it is very possible to graduate and finish a program without any delay and have all the 50 students graduate. So I would just simply say that when you are doing a program evaluation, prompt feedback, be innovative, try to have high expectations. And let me tell the story. So we were having admissions and we said, we are targeting 20 students. The VC said, you cannot have that. That's not an expectation. I don't like it. You have to raise. So we said, okay, can we begin on 30? He said, no, you can talk about 30. We want to break record in Daystar that it is possible to begin a class of 50 and above. The number 50 is a number by the Vice Chancellor. So Professor Sitati, myself, Professor Nero and others began now getting to. So we now actually realize we can also do marketing. It's not just teaching. So and I'm sure some of you, I know like Florence, the WhatsApp group I sent it is a very different WhatsApp group, but you came in. So we were using all platforms, everything. When you like something, you can do everything to make it work. And give your best. Always just give your best and keep giving and keep giving and keep giving. When you keep giving, you learn. When you keep giving, you are humble. When you keep giving, you always get the best coming your way. And there's something that God gives you favor that you'll be healthy, favor that things will just happen the best for you in your way. Out of this program, I've been able to go to the US, South Africa, I've gone to Australia for benchmarking by Daystar bill, not my bill. I've been able to be promoted. I am now a senior lecturer by Daystar bill. Your company will recognize you. Your institution will recognize you. Just keep giving, keep doing, and give the best. And in any program, whenever you're given, whether a teacher, if you're teaching, teach. Like there is no other teacher will teach. In fact, people say, this is the best teacher we have ever had. When there is an author who says about sweeping, that when you're taught to sweep so well that when everybody goes through your streets, will say, they lived a street sweeper who swept so well that everybody recognized. And that's how some of us are living. We want to be people who will sweep, will take the broom and ensure we sweep the best so that everybody passing through the street will say, leave it, a street sweeper who swept the best that anybody would admire. And when people see you sweep the best, one day they'll promote you to be in charge of the cleaners. You'll no longer be the cleaner, but now somebody else will be the cleaners. You'll be in charge. And when you're in charge, you find yourself. That's how we are grateful for all of us who've been working under you humble professors like Professor Ayura, amongst others. And for us and Dr. Emily Sitati, Dr. Kigode, Dr. Susan Duta, and and others that will be coming to teach you will tell you, even we attend these classes just to learn. Imagine I keep learning every single day. So folks, I want to wish you well this program. Whenever you'll be given any program to initiate, give your inspire, give feedback, cooperate, and give and give and give and give. The more you give, the more you get. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ayuya. You are such an inspiration to many, many of us. She's such a resilient girl. She never tires. She's always energetic. She moves as if she'll never move again. And she's a go-getter. Whatever she wants, she'll get it. She works so hard day and night. She told me she wakes up at 3. I don't know, every day. I don't know if we can manage that, but that is her. She does 101 things at the same time, and she manages to put Daystar to a different level. She has brought in so many, MOUs. She has brought in so many fundings. She has brought in so many partners, and she's just an asset to all of us. I think in your interaction, you've seen she's such a special girl to many, many people. She'll always smile, even when she's not happy. She'll always give a smile. So thank you so much, Dr. Ayuya. We love you, and we really want to, move forward, so that we can also sit under your feet and be mentored in terms of online learning. So that is our story.
Thank you so much. Wish you well in this journey. We are together. We are just together.
Yes,
to
any
be
reaction?
together.
Just two reactions to that, then we move.
Wow. Daktari.
Yes.
This is Wekesa.
Wekesa.
Yes, Daktari.
Yes. Yes.
I was barely 6 days in Daystar when I was introduced to Dr. Ayuya, and she simply told me, join the class, even if you don't have money. And when I was actually 6 days, I gave her my particulars, and she began registering me straight away. I can only say, wow, this is a blessing to us. This is God sent to us. And we pray for you together with the prof that God continues to keep you so that we can continue learning from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Doliana.
Thank you, Daktari. Just listening to Dr. Ayuya has really inspired me because she's always ready to answer our questions. She's always in class. Like, I'm wondering at what time does she rest? Because she's always available. Yeah, we are always complaining like it's difficult to have time from 5:30 maybe to 9. We are missing out on family time. Maybe we are postponing our issues, but just listening to her and the input she's putting, yeah, to ensure that we are in class, we are understanding what is being taught, like she's encouraging us. This is a lot. And I must say, coming into this program, I'm a teacher. So I was not even sure if maybe I'll fit in, if it's something I wanted to do. But from just listening to how and what she is saying about sweeping, yeah, like just doing your part well and leaving the rest to maybe God or others, it has really inspired me. So thank you, Doctor. I wish to be like you one day.
When you
although
grow
minus that busy schedule, yeah, when I grow up. So
Thank you.
Daktari, may God bless you. Ayuya, you are 1 in a million. I think wewe ni mwanamke bomba. And
Amen.
you should be featured. Othello, do something. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. She's also a family person. She has a husband and a child, and she gives them their time. So she knows how to balance between family, work, and other things. I think we may have so much to say about
Dr. Sitati, please let me say one thing, please kindly.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I have listened very keenly. When you said that you are going to have a speaker to talk to us, and you are teaching us distance learning, online learning, I was wondering, who is this that she's going to get that can be better than Dr. Ayuya? And then I wasn't surprised actually when I found that she's the one you were calling a guest speaker. I'm like, this should have been very obvious from the beginning. Why I'm saying that, and I'm really very excited tonight because I had a very tough day today. But having listened to Dr. Ayuya, I think I'm re-energized. I wanted to read this quotation. Dr. Ayuya was not able to remember who said this. Please give me a second. I read this. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said this one time, that if it falls on your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures, like Shakespeare wrote poetry, like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper. That should be words from Dr. Ayuya. Thank you very much for having such a wonderful person like you in our lives. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. I think I want us to move on now. We can share our sentiments on the chat platform so that we can all enjoy that and read and then just encourage each other. Now, our last activity is
I think we can also share in her inbox so that when she's tired, she can read and smile so that she appreciates what we feel about her.
If she allows us, we can still do that. But I want us to move. Today I have an activity for us, just some 30 minutes. We reflect on it and then we share in class. After then, we shall call it a day. So please get to your portal. There is an activity that is posted there. Let's look at it. We are working in our groups. We shall take 45 minutes. If we finish working on it earlier than that, then we should be able to come back to the plenary and share our findings. So let's go to the portal.
Sorry, I have a question. Does this mean we'll be breaking out to the rooms? The breakout rooms?
We are breaking out to our rooms, to our breakout rooms.
Okay.
I'm sure by now we all know how to get to our groups, to our rooms.
Doctor, we don't know unless it's initiated.
You are supposed to initiate it.
Oh, I'm supposed to initiate it?
Yes.
Let me...
Dr. Ayuya, is it?
Yeah, we have to. How many groups are there? I can have them, then everybody can join manually.
We have were there 8 groups?
Okay. Breakfast. So 8. Were there? Yeah. I can see group 1 to group 10. Which are they 8? I remove some.
They're arranged as ABCD. So
yeah,
they were ABCD. Okay, so if it's ABCD, I'll just again rename them.
So group 1, like that, yeah.
So let me see, what am I?
In the meantime, Dr. Yuya,
yeah.
Do you allow us to send our messages to your inbox to tell you the impact you've had on us?
Well, I receive all those texts. I mean, it's I'm always a text away for me. I'm always a text away.
Thank you.
So tell them I received. I received. I received.
Yeah. So I think I'll just rename these groups. Which gadget am I using? I think one gadget is a host, another one is not. So it's confusing me so that I can create the groups. So I think I'll use this gadget as I know what is the problem.
The groups, our task is on the portal.
Yes.
Okay. So I need this one as make this host, and then I can have the right and make the other dista. So
Terry, you are aggressive. That's what I can say.
yeah, this life teaches us really to do that. Yeah.
You should make a point of visiting her office one of these fine days.
Is
it in Nairobi or in Athi River?
I'm one of the latecomers. When I joined, she wanted to make tea for me, and then I said, no, the water is enough. She gave me a bottle of water. She wanted to make tea. I said, no, Dr. This is enough. Say, welcome to the course.
Yeah, here you have to either do a candy or some tea or something.
So you'll always have something in her office.
Switch off, mute one of the data.
Yeah, I'm muting one. Yeah, I'm muting one so that I'm trying to get which one can give me the I was trying to confuse the two of them because now I have groups that I need to do. And one was confusing me, breakaway rooms. Why am I not getting the options today?
Mwalimu, where is the work? I have checked and I can't see where it is located.
Okay, what I'll do is
check on week 8.
It's ABCD. So group 1 is A, group B is B.
What do you mean the button is week 6? Thank you.
Group 1, it has refused to give me a allowance. So what I'll do is group 1 is A, group 2 is B, group 3 is C, group 4 is D, group 5 is E, group 6 is E, group 7 is F, and then group 8 G. So you don't have to join group 9 if you're not. So just remember group 1. So can I have people who are in A join group 1? Just join and then.
That how comes and we are in group H?
Yeah, H is 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jean.
So it
Jean,
is 8.
are we in the same group with you?
Group A, can you join? Who was in group A? Join group 1. Group 2, group B, join. So 1 is A.
Gosh, I'm not seeing the button.
B. 3 is C.
Where is 5
is.
I've not seen the
Elizabeth, group 1.
The command is not on.
where I don't
What is
see
not
where
on?
The breakout.
We can't see where the group, the button, yeah.
Check the 3 dots.
If you click more, you cannot see the 3 dots where you have a virtual.
Not yet.
They are not yet visible, Dr.
The 3 dots.
Have you started them? Yes.
Not yet.
Then maybe just start them, then they can be.
Okay, let me close first all these groups, and then let me open. In fact, now it has allowed me to do what I wanted. Allow participants to choose room, yes. Allow participants to return their main session. Are they coming back the main session, Prof. Sitati?
Yes, after 30 minutes.
After 30 minutes.
You can also allow that sometimes inside there we are not able to share. So coming back helps us to share the screen.
Yeah, now I've allowed all participants to share. Automatically move assignment person breakaway. No, they'll do manually. Automatically move all participants in the breakaway. No, you're choosing a breakout 30 minutes. So maybe 30 minutes is enough, or you want to give it just plus. Give it 40 plus 10 just in case.
Yeah, give it 40.
Countdown, yes. So that one is done. So I will rename all the groups. Group A. Yes. And then group B. So you say up to group C. Group D. Group D. Group C, it doesn't have the word group. Yes. Then group E. Group F. If you can't, just come back. Group F, group F, group E, F, G. 7 is G. G. Then H is 8. Group H. I don't know if you're reaching 9, but I'll just put H, G, H, I. Just in case, but you're saying you're already 8.
Hello, Dr.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of us came after the group were formed. I don't know whether we're going to be.
How many people don't have groups? Because if you are a number, you can go to group I.
Morning, we were in the same group last time. Was it not in this class?
It was a different class. I've had who was that saying that he's in group H and I didn't see him.
Do you want me to automatically move you to groups, or you have the groups? Tell me, do I already have the groups? They already
We'll just log into the groups.
We
Okay,
have
if
the
you don't have
groups.
a group, let me tell you, this is your class, you can guide. They can join preferably the group they would like, isn't it?
Yeah, let them join whichever group they like. Those who are not in groups, but I don't allow migration.
Yeah. Those who are not.
Clary, have you opened the groups up?
I'm now officially opening groups. 1, 2, 3. I open groups. Join your group.
Thank you. It's now visible.
I haven't seen the groups from my end. I haven't seen the groups, so.
Nothing is putting on your screen. Nothing comes to your screen, Othello.
I'm seeing myself in group D, but I'm supposed to be in group E.
You want to, who is talking? I can just send you there.
Brenda.
Who is that talking?
Brenda.
So Brenda, you want to go to which group?
E.
You say you are in which group?
From my screen, I've been invited to join group D, but my group is E.
I can just move you. So you want C? I'm moving you to C. Is that okay?
E for egg.
Egg.
E for egg. E, yes.
Okay, I'm moving you there.
Doc, Group A members seem not to be aware that they belong there. I am all alone.
Group A has people who have joined there is Jen, Mudhoni, Olwech, and Stephen. You're not alone. Who else wants me to help them to go to their group? I think group F in our church, it has only 2. Group G has 2. Everybody's in 7. Which group, which people have not joined, we can help.
Group 6 members.
Actually, group D, E, group, in fact, group H, group G has only 2 people. That is group 7.
Juliet Afandi, Brian Mwenda, Sylvanus Getare, Maureen.
That's group
Ngujiri, that is group G. Rhoda Ocheng, these are members of group G.
Okay, I can see Rhoda, Juliet, Brian has not joined. Let me take Brian. Oh, Brian has now joined. So you're a co-host, you can work in any group if you want, isn't it?
Sylvanus.
Sylvanus. Othello, which group are you supposed to be in? I can send you there.
I was supposed to be in group, I think group D, but it's so full.
So where do you want to go?
Group G.
The only group that has few is group G. It has 3 people. And group B. Do you want me to take you to B or G?
I can go to G.
Huh?
Oh, but
G.
I can be in B or G.
Okay, I've taken you to B. Steve, Sylvanus. Sylvanus is supposed to be in group. You said G, Mwalimu?
Group C. I'm in group C.
Group C. Steve, which group? Maureen, which group? Maureen and Steve are the only ones remaining. Are you the only ones? Because this is Sitati, and then myself, 2 gadgets. So is Maureen there? Maureen? Maureen? Okay. Mwalimu, I'll make you the time.
Maybe she's absent.
I can make you the host. Again, I don't know if you're the host or me, so that you can help them to go to these groups. because it's only Mori now remaining. The rest of us, although Silvanos has not joined Group C, is still hanging. So I don't know. Stop YouTube. I don't think it's recording in groups. Let me see what it's doing. Let me just stop it. Because they won't take long before they come back, isn't it?
Yeah, just around 30 to 40 minutes.